All right, Dolphin fans, I'm back. We're back. So, if you've been following Flying Fluffy Hockey, you know the deal. This is the second channel, Flying Fluffy Football. I started doing football a little bit last season on the regular original channel. Didn't work out the way I wanted it to, so I created this second channel, did a few videos. Dolphins were terrible. I was going through a lot of things, and I wanted to just focus on hockey. But I've been saying, soon as hockey was over, I'll pick this channel back up, and then we'll be running both channels at once. So a lot of content coming, but I just kind of wanted to jump into things today. I know I'm like, what is it, a month, 5 weeks ago that the Dolphins schedule was released. So I grasped the fact that I'm late. To be honest with you, I've been so focused and busy with hockey, I haven't really looked at it until just now in the last 10-15 minutes to kind of get my thoughts together for this video. I gandered at it. I watched one video. I watched Dudley do wrong. I watched him go over the schedule, but that was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, whatever it was. And since then, the Dolphins have not even been in any part of my mind. So this is basically my reaction to the schedule. So I'm going to go over what I think is going to happen. I'm going to make a prediction of a final win total, kind of talk a little bit about how I got there, and this mug is available in my Teespring store. It's got the very rare, highly sought after alternate logo on the other side. Links in the description. Now, preseason. I love this preseason because we don't have to leave the state of Florida. I don't know how we worked it out that way, but we did. We're on the road, Tampa, and then we've got the Raiders and we've got the Eagles. Now, I'm going to kind of take this season in three sections here, okay? And I'm going to start off with the first 4 games, talk about those. We open up the season at home against the Patriots. Immediately head to the road for the Ravens, go back home to play Buffalo, and then Thursday night against Cincinnati in Cincinnati. Now those 4 games, we could legit play pretty damn well and cross our fingers to come out at 2-2. Now the opening game against the Patriots, which actually I'm looking now, the season starts on 9/11, which is interestingly enough. That's a home game, 1 o'clock. September, Florida. That should be a win for us. Not because Patriots are, not that because we're so much better than the Patriots, but that sun and heat usually leads to a victory on opening day. Let's cross our fingers there. Then we go right to Baltimore, which is an interesting dilemma because every year until last season, I said, there's no way we're beating Baltimore. I'm never going to predict or pick us to beat Baltimore until we beat Baltimore, and then we beat Baltimore. Now, we all know they had a ton of injuries last year. They finished with 6 straight losses. I have a hard time picking the Dolphins to win this game. I really do. Baltimore's going to come in. Yeah, assume they're going to be healthy, okay? So to me, I'm kind of looking at like those first 2 games. Let's get a split and finish at 1-1. Third game, we're back home now, Buffalo. Again, 1 o'clock, September, Florida. I know we haven't been able to beat the Bills. Let me say that again. I know we haven't been able to beat the Bills. We have to beat the Bills. I'm going to call us beating the Bills. It's a very light, weak, sketchy, kind of makes me queasy pick, but I'm trying to get us to a certain number, and if this team wants to make the playoffs, we got enough games coming up here. We have to win this game. You have to be able to beat your division rivals at home in the heat in September. You just have to. So I'm going to pick us to win, but don't take that pick to Vegas. Because week 4, oh, jeez. The schedule makers did not do us any favors, people. Not in the beginning and the end of the season, that's for sure. Week 4, which just happens to be 4 days later, at Cincinnati on Thursday night. Forget about it. Just cross out that. Just pretend that game doesn't exist. The fact of the matter is, if we do manage to beat Buffalo, we're going to leave like all of our guts and blood out on the field just to get that victory, and we're going to crawl into Cincinnati 4 days later. No. So I'm looking at the start of the season, and I'm hoping and praying and crossing my fingers that we can come out of that at 2-2. If we can come out of those first 4 games at 2-2, we're in the game, because the next run of games, we have 7 games in a row after this that you would consider winnable. Not saying we're going to win every one, but let's start it off. Week 5 at New York, at the Jets. It's October 9th. Weather's going to be decent, not a cold weather game. It's a winnable game. It's also a very losable game. Okay, the Jets weren't, they won 4 games last year. They improved as the season went on. They're going to be better. That's a losable game. We'll put it that way. It's a game we should win. But if you've been a Dolphin fan for more than 5 minutes, you know we're perfectly capable of losing that game. So I'm not going to pick just yet. So let's just move on. Then the next week, Minnesota, we're back home, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then, still at home, Sunday night game the following week against the Steelers, who we have absolutely no idea what to expect from the Steelers. None whatsoever. Following week is Detroit on the road at 1 o'clock. Then we have a Sunday game at Soldier Field, 1 o'clock. All right, you see what I'm saying here? Then we come back home against Cleveland. Then we have the bye. And then we're home for Houston. So let's talk about this a little bit. That's 7 games in a row. All right? That is the Jets, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Lions, the Bears, the Browns, the bye, and the Texans. That's 7 in a row. Give me 5-2 out of that. Give me 5-2 out of those 7 games. All right? So if you want to pick your losses, let's say we lose to the Jets in New York. It would not surprise me at all if that happens. Okay? And then you want to pick another loss. Chicago and Soldier Field's not going to be ridiculously easy. Okay? That's not a place the Dolphins have had a ton of success. So if you want to get 5-2 out of those 7 games, and I'm not saying, look, I'm not saying like Cleveland at home, that's not a gimme. Houston should be a gimme. Detroit, that's a game we should win. Pittsburgh is another one of those games where, it's a Sunday night game, but it's at home. You got to count those games at home. You get a primetime game at home in the preseason, you got to count it as a win. So I'm looking at 5-2 through that stretch. We lose to the Jets, we lose to the Bears, we win the other 5, and at that point, what are we? We're 7-4 at that point, which is a lot better than we were last year. Now, schedule gets busy. So we just had this stretch. We just had Cleveland at home, the bye, we're staying home, Houston at home. So now we have been home after the trip to Soldier Field. We have been home from the beginning of November all the way through Thanksgiving. We are at home. We don't go back on the road until we go 2 times in a row, which I'm assuming they're going to stay out west. We've got Sunday, the 4th at 4 o'clock against the 49ers, and then on the 11th at 4 o'clock against the Chargers. Give me a split. Give me a split of those 2, but it's almost a must that you got to beat the Chargers. You're going to have to win the Charger game, because now you're talking AFC wildcard playoff implications. It's late in the season. It's week 14. The Chargers finished with the same record as us. I believe that's correct. Let me double check that. There's the Chargers at 9-8, and there's the Dolphins, 9-8. It's not a gimme. It's on the road. But there's a really good chance the winner of that game makes the wild card. Really good chance. Now, I'm picking Miami because we got to win. It's one of those games where it'd be difficult to imagine a situation, unless we're a lot better or a lot worse than we think. You got to figure that game's going to have massive playoff implications. It's not going to be an easy game to pick. Chargers don't have the best defense, so come on, Tua. Now, then we get into a little bit, I need a drink. The last, what is this? The last 4 games of the season. Not pleasant. Not pleasant. So we just finished those 2 games on the West Coast. And you think, okay, we're coming back home, right? No. 2 games in a row on the West Coast. You figure we're staying out there. Then what do? At Buffalo. At Buffalo. And to make matters worse, to be determined. We don't know if it's going to be the Sunday night game. I might flex it to the Monday night game. We don't know what day, what time. So that easily could be, what's that? The 18th the 18th would be the Sunday. So December 18th, 19th at night in Buffalo. No. Just no. That's just no. It's not going to happen. Just and don't even try to make it happen. Well, if somebody got injured, etc., etc. No, it's not going to happen. Now, we finally go back home, and what's our Christmas present? Because we play on Christmas Day. Green Bay Packers. We finally get back home after basically, well, it's 3 weeks on the road, right? Green Bay. At home on Christmas Day. We have to win the game. We have to win that game because Week 17 on New Year's Day, Patriots in New England. So there'll be 6 feet of snow. And yeah, so that's that's 2 out of 3 weeks. In case you guys haven't been paying attention, that is 2 out of 3 weeks on the road in December, Buffalo, New England. We have to beat Green Bay. The problem is that you got a pretty good chance that that New England game is going to have massive AFC wildcard playoff implications again, just like the Chargers. Something's got to give there. The way the schedule is laid out for us in terms of fighting for the wild card spot is not good, because the teams that we will be up against in the wild card race, all right, let's go to the top of the schedule. The teams that we're most likely fighting against in the wild cards, if Baltimore gets it together, we're on the road. Cincinnati, we're on the road. Pittsburgh, maybe we're at home. Not so sure Pittsburgh's going to be in the fight this year, but it's still possible. Cleveland is possible. That's a home game. Okay, then Chargers on the road. Buffalo on the road. The one home game we get is Green Bay. And then my cursor doesn't want to work. New England on the road. And then we end the season at home against the Jets. Again, to be determined. So I guess they're assuming if the Jets somehow miraculously are playoff contenders, they're gonna flex that game and maybe make it a Sunday night game or a Monday night game. I don't remember if you're still playing football on Saturdays then. So, what does that leave us with? Well, when I first looked at the schedule, I was a bit too assertive aggressive. I got the 12 wins. Now, how did I get the 12 wins? I got the 12 wins by going 7-0 in that stretch in the middle where there's 7 winnable games. If we win every game and kind of split the rest of them, we can get the 12 wins. A more realistic situation is the following. Those first 4, one last time, New England, Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincinnati, come out of that at 2-2. The next 7 I talked about, you win 5 of those, you come out of that at 7-4. All right? The 2 on the road, San Francisco, the Chargers, you split that, now you're 8-5. The last 4 games, to get the 10 wins, you have to split at Buffalo, home against Green Bay, at New England, and home against the Jets. Now, while that is doable, that at New England game is going to be a problem. Because assuming the split is going to be where? Where those last 4? If you beat Green Bay and the Jets, you've split. Those are the home games in those last 4. The problem is that January 1st, New Year's Day game against the Patriots at New England. Now, I know the Dolphins have traditionally done well towards the end of the season against the Patriots in New England. However, that has traditionally been because the Patriots have already clinched. That's the game. That Patriot game and the Charger game. Those 2 are the most important games on this schedule, and they're both on the road. It's rough. I have a feeling that we could legit win 10 games this year and not make the playoffs. And in fact, that's my pick. The more I've thought about it, if this team plays well, they'll win 1 more game than they did last year. But unless they can somehow beat Buffalo both games, the saving grace might be the Chargers' defense isn't great, and maybe we can beat the Chargers on the road. Am I thinking the right thing here? Yeah, the Chargers' defense gave up a ton of points last year. That might be good enough. If we can split those 2 games, beat the Chargers on the road, you're still going to have the Patriots. It's possible we could be in a position to where us and the Patriots are making the playoffs, but there's other teams to consider there. So, looking at this, I got 10-7. I don't think this team, I don't want to pick us to make the playoffs. I really don't. I would be surprised if we make the playoffs because we've got a lot of winnable games there. But they're not really against the teams that we're going to be up against in the playoff race. I think the Charger game, the Patriot game, losing 1 or both of those games in the end is going to be our undoing. And going to have to continue to get better. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Like I said, I got us to 12 wins, but that has that middle section, those 7 games in a row. That's if we win every single game. Now, we do happen to know the Dolphins are capable of winning 7 in a row. It could happen. I'm not going to sit here now near July and predict it. Let's see how training camp goes. Let's see how the injury situation hits. That's always a big thing. Last year, what did I predict? I believe if I go back last year, I predicted us to go 10-7 and make the playoffs. We won 9, so it's not that far off. It was a weird 9, obviously, the way we got there. It was not the way any of us thought we were getting the 9 wins. I think this is going to be more of a traditional season. We've played a lot of tough road games. We've got cold weather games. The start is going to be imperative. The first 4 games is absolutely going to be imperative. And it's not pretty. New England, Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincinnati. We could easily play well and start 1-3 and be behind the 8 ball. We could easily lose to Buffalo. We could lose to Baltimore. And Cincinnati, that Thursday night game, forget about that. So, the start, there's 3 very distinct sections. The start, that middle 7, and then the end. We are going to have to bank wins during that middle 7 games. If we start screwing around and go 4-3 during that time, forget about it. It's going to be over. You need at least 5 out of those 7, and if the team can play well and get 6 or 7, then we're a playoff team for sure. So, that's my take. All right. Channel is back. I really appreciate all the support. Hit the subscribe button, please, please, please. Obviously, the other channel, Flying Fluffy Hockey, has been around a lot longer. We're up to 2.4, almost 2,500 subscribers. I would like to see this channel just burst through. I'm going to have a couple of things planned closer to the beginning of the season. I'm going to have some subscriber drive type of things. I've got a couple things planned, so please do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I'm still making content on the hockey channel, 1 to 2 videos per day. Not sure if I'm going to have everyday content here right now on the football channel. Probably not every day until we get to August. Once we get to August, then we'll be back up to every day. Going to have a lot of different things. I'm going to have pregame live stream for every Dolphin game. Going to be live streaming every Dolphin game with Kyle. I'm going to be doing play-by-play. He's going to be doing the color. Going to be live streaming other games, Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night games, if there's no Panthers games that conflict with that. Timmy and I, if you know Timmy, he's a good friend of mine off of Twitter. You've seen him a few times on the Panthers videos. He's going to be doing the reviews with me for the Dolphin games like Stu does for the Panther games. So, and we've got a bunch more content. So, absolutely going to be worth the subscription. I appreciate it. All right. 10-7 and iffy on the playoffs. That's the best I can do you is iffy on the playoffs. All right. I'll see you guys again. I'll see you on the other channel tomorrow anyway.